Good evening, I'm Scott Beadle with St. George News at 8. 9 months after 30-year-old David Heisler was abducted from his Santa Clara home and left for dead on the Arizona Strip, 3 suspects appear in court on charges. 56-year-old Francis Lee McCard and 32-year-old Kelly Marie Perry are charged with aggravated kidnapping, battery, and theft. 54-year-old Tammy Renee Freeman is accused of driving Perry and McCard to the crime scene. Police say McCard and Perry went to Heisler's house on June 27th, just 2 weeks after Heisler was awarded sole custody of his and Perry's 7-year-old daughter in order to scare him. They reportedly admitted to tying up Heisler, assaulting him, placing a pillowcase over his head, and driving to the Utah-Arizona border. Heisler's body was found 7 weeks later. McCard is set to be federally indicted, a possibility for Perry as well, which could earn him the death penalty if convicted. They're scheduled for another court appearance on May 23rd. A 17-year-old is in critical condition with severe head and facial trauma following an industrial accident in Hilldale on Wednesday morning. It happened just after 9 a.m. Emergency personnel were called to an accident involving a worker trapped by a conveyor belt at a metal fabrication business. Witnesses say employees were working on a mobile conveyor belt when a support structure collapsed on top of the teen's head and face, pinning him between an axle tire and the side of the conveyor. Several of the teen's co-workers helped free him while the fire department was en route. The teen was taken to Dixie Regional Medical Center. Well, if you're a fan of medical dramas, so much that you'd like to make a career in the fields, we might just have the thing for you.
Well, the surgical technology program is a 2-year associate of applied science degree. The first year is spent learning things like anatomy and physiology, medical terminology, those sorts of science classes. Then that leads to the second year of the program, which is a 2-semester sequence of just surgery. So lecture courses where students learn the fundamental knowledge they need to be able to anticipate the steps of surgical procedures. One of the most important parts of our job is to protect the patient from getting an infection. So students have to learn what is sterile and what is not sterile, and how to keep the things that are sterile, keep them sterile.
This is our lab room. We just learned how to be sterile in here, how to set up for our cases. We're going to drape and prep the patients. We're going to pass instruments to the surgeon before he asks for them. So basically be one step ahead of the surgeon and then perform surgery with him, retract what he wants us to, pass what he wants, and then be done.
Our students graduate entry-level employment ready, and the area employers are waiting eagerly to pick them up upon graduation.
Well, it's super, super helpful because when you start out as a surgical technologist, you don't know what an OR looks like, and getting the feel for the OR helps a lot. So when you go, you're not overwhelmed, you know what to expect.
Information about Dixie State's surgical technology program, you can visit their website. The Canaraville Falls hiking trail will be closed for a few days for maintenance. That closure begins April 3rd and runs through the 6th. The town of Canaraville maintains a right-of-way for a pipeline that supplies drinking water to the community. That pipeline has become exposed by weather, hikers, and falling rocks. The Senate is holding their first public hearing into Russian election meddling with a bright spotlight on those hearings as the House Intelligence Committee's investigation is stalled. The committee chairman under fire for his recent actions, and the debate on health care continues, with Republicans turning against Republicans. Lana Zach is in Washington with it all.
In rare public hearings, the Senate Intelligence Committee is starting to call witnesses today.
The public deserves to hear the truth about possible Russian involvement in our elections.
Republicans and Democrats on the committee agreed that Russia did try to interfere in the election.
This Russian propaganda on steroids was designed to poison the national conversation in America.
Their hearings come as the House investigation has unraveled. The chairman of that committee, Devin Nunes, is under fire for secretly meeting with a mystery person at the White House and then briefing the president the next day before speaking with his Democratic counterpart, Adam Schiff. Meanwhile, the president is looking for a new way forward on health care. Will it include Democrats?
We have long histories of working with Democrats, but I don't think it's a stretch of the mind to suggest that the Democrats disagree with us on repealing Obamacare.
A Twitter war ensued. Ryan's comments criticized by fellow Republican Bob Corker, who tweeted, "We have come a long way in our country when the speaker of one party urges a president not to work with the other party to solve a problem." And the president himself warned Republicans, tweeting, "The Freedom Caucus will hurt the entire Republican agenda if they don't get on the team and fast. We must fight them and Dems in 2018.
The Twitter war continues. Republican Freedom Caucus member Justin Amash tweeting back, quote, "It didn't take long for the swamp to drain at real Donald Trump. No shame, Mr. President." Chief Meteorologist Chris Summers has your Southern Utah forecast next.
The weather tonight is brought to you by Premier Sleep Solutions. Get the sleep you deserve.
And welcome back, everyone. A good Thursday evening to you. Had some gusty winds out there for today. Wind advisory in effect for about another hour here in southern Utah. Those wind gusts have been as high as 50 miles per hour in some areas. Now, as low pressure continues to push across our area, we do have a winter storm warning in effect. The area here on the map in blue, mainly from about Cedar City to Beaver up to the north. Again, basically along the I-15 corridor, we're seeing this winter storm warning in effect. Could see several inches of snow. Looks like Cedar City could pick up between 4 to 6 inches of snow overnight tonight and through the day on Friday. Otherwise, southern Utah, much of us will see rain as temperatures should get back at least into the 50s and 60s in southern Utah. But Cedar City looks like highs will stay in the 30s through much of the day on Friday. So that winter storm warning is in effect all the way through Friday till early on Saturday morning. Taking a look at our forecast the next couple of days, then scattered showers and breezy and cooler for much of southern Utah. Again, St. George area showing those scattered showers around the area for your Friday. Rain, snow comes to an end, then sunshine, but warm weather returns just in time for the weekend. Saturday and Sunday look like we'll see some pretty nice weather. Temperatures into the 60s in southern Utah. Even some of the higher elevations should at least get back into the upper 40s to low 50s this weekend. And by early next week, it looks like some dry weather continues with us. Also sunshine and really pretty nice this time of year. Temperatures staying into the upper 60s in southern Utah, but could get close to the 70s by the middle part of next week. So taking a look at our surface map, then there's that low pressure system we talked about for your Friday. Again, bringing in some cooler air, also bringing in some gusty winds too. But again, see the blue on the map right along the mountain range there. We're seeing the showers of snow. And again, that winter storm warning in effect for Cedar City and areas north, right along Highway 15, or Interstate 15, I should say, where they could see several inches of snowfall during the day on Friday. Now, down here in southern Utah and St. George, we'll see mainly rain, with scattered rain in the forecast and those high temperatures getting back into the 50s and 60s across our area. Here's our day planner for your Cedar City then. Again, seeing that snow around the areas during the day with north winds about 15 to 20 miles per hour, high only reaching about 40 in Cedar City. Should get close to 60 here in St. George. Again, southern Utah could see some rain as high temperatures reach close to 59 on Friday afternoon. Here's your highs from today. Again, those gusty winds out there, but also highs in the low 70s. St. George at 73 degrees, Cedar City at 65 late this afternoon, 59 in Beaver, and 74 degrees in Hurricane. Forecast for tonight do show some rain out there. Again, some snow in Cedar City with that winter storm warning in effect in the higher elevations. 26 degrees a low temperature Cedar City. See lows into the 40s from St. George to Hurricane to Mesquite by tomorrow morning. For your Friday, the last day of March, we'll see a little bit of rain around Hurricane. Also seeing a little bit of rain around St. George and Mesquite. Temperatures mid to upper 50s to low 60s. But Cedar City, again, seeing a high temperature only reaching about 40. Here's that 7-day forecast for Cedar City. Again, a little bit warmer for the weekend. Once the system moves out, should see temperatures back in the mid to upper 50s. A little more rain returns next week with highs back in the upper 40s to low 50s. Southern Utah, then, we're seeing a little bit warmer weather as we get to the weekend. Again, St. George seeing temperatures into the upper 60s to low to mid 70s by Saturday and Sunday. And next week, do drop back a couple degrees, but still looking very dry and very nice through the middle part of next week. So definitely need to be careful out there if you're heading up I-15 as you head north out of St. George. You might run into a little bit of snow overnight tonight, and especially during the day tomorrow.
All right, thanks, Chris. Up next, Utter Madness, a virtual milking contest when we come back. A couple of Nintendo gamers got a dose of real farm work in Vermont. At the Billings Farm and Museum, the players were pitted against two real farmers for a virtual cow milking contest. The game showcased the new Nintendo console Switch. While the professional gamers won the virtual game, they conceded to the pros in real cow milking, saying they gained a deep appreciation for farm work. It's hard work.
It is hard work. Your hours are all hours of the day for farm work, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. Thanks for watching.
Hope you have a great night.